Hello and welcome to this review of what I believe to be a bargain from Rails of Sheffield. I'm one of those modelers who like collecting the trains that he's travelled on and he's seen. That's why I've got so many of them. And one of those, from travelling around Switzerland, Austria and Italy during the 90s, was the original Cisalpino Italian tilting train that Lima produced, and you don't really come across them that much, but I managed to find one on the Rails eBay site. So I thought, right, I'll have a quick look. It was listed at £80, but then they also offered me a 15% off voucher, so I got it down to, what was it, 67, something like that. I thought, right, for that amount of money, it's worth a gamble. So I thought, right, I'll go for it. I bought it, and here it is. Now, this is in the current livery, I believe. When I saw them in the 90s, when they were first introduced, they were in the earlier livery. It's part of an old timetable I still have in my collection. So I had Cisalpino written on the front, and they were white and blue with I think it was a green stripe down the side. Camera can't focus very well. But there's pictures of them, and one of the timetables of one of the routes they ran between Zurich and Milan. Now, my first trip on this was between Spitz and Brig. Just a quick hop, I think it's about an hour or so, maybe less. And they were my first journey on them. I felt very uncomfortable. It was my first ever tilting train. It made me feel a little bit ill. The second journey on them, I fell asleep straight away, so not so much of a problem. So the first thing I notice about this is the box. It's got slightly out of focus image on the front. Doesn't give the best impression, but you know, you can actually see what's inside. They've moulded it with an actual carry handle. I've not seen that before, that's very convenient. And they've got plastic covers on either side, and they're held in place by these little plastic screws that you've got to unhook and try and get out. There's one. There's two. And there's three. Pop that off. Fold this down. And now we have the contents. Obviously, Lima being owned by Hornby, you've got the standard Hornby controller there. Standard Hornby track as well. What you'd expect. Don't actually need that, but it's there. And then to the actual model itself, you can see it's a very basic model. There's no cab detail at all, you can't even see inside the cab. Windows are blocked out to keep the cost down. Printing and decal work on the side is quite neat. You can read it quite clearly. It's not a bad delivery. I think it's pretty standard for all their Pendolinos at the moment. Moulded plastic pantograph. Oh, it does unclip. Oh, there we go. Quite basic, but it's something. I might paint that. Now, this listing was quite cheap because they said it was a poor runner, so I may have to do a bit of work on it. But the model itself, I'm quite happy with that. That's something I've travelled on in the past. It's nice to have. So let's go check it out. So, like I said, this was advertised as a poor runner. I thought if it needs any work doing, I could give it a quick service and hopefully get it back to its best. But let's pop it on the track and see. Okay, all ready. Okay, sets off with a bit of power. For a poor runner, that's actually very good. More than happy with that. Okay, let's couple it up and give it a run. So this is just a 4-car unit. They ran in much longer rakes, so I'll be interested to see if more intermediate coaches are available. Let's go. So in conclusion, even though it's a very basic model with no lights, no interior, no glazing at all, I'm very happy with that. For the 60 odd pounds that I actually paid for it. It's a very smooth runner despite the way it's advertised. Yeah, it brings back a lot of memories. I'm very happy with that. Nice. Cheers.